I used to be over $100,000 in debt. How did I get out of that mess and build an investment portfolio of close to 6 figures? Financial goal setting. 1 year of serious focus and alignment can put you 10 years ahead in life. If you could use a motivational kick in the ass plus some tips on how to set good financial goals and actually achieve them, then keep watching. What is up, everyone? I'm Rose and welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for financial education, empowerment, and inspiration. Let's talk about setting financial goals. The new year is just around the corner, and we all know how important it is to have some goals. Goals that get you closer to the life that you truly want. In this video, I want to share with you 4 simple steps to set good financial goals and actually achieve them. And I know it'll be encouraging for so many of you to hear about my own personal money journey. But don't take my word for it. All the tips and strategies I'm going to share with you are backed by research and data as well. So if you're excited to set some awesome financial goals and make 2020 your best year yet, then give this video a like and let's jump right into it. Step 1 is to think big, but start small. A lot of us have big goals for ourselves, especially if you're an overachiever, ambitious, but sometimes that gap between where you are now and where you want to be can be so big that it actually paralyzes you from taking action. Back when I started my personal finance journey, I had $100,000 of student loans, but I always knew just somewhere in my heart that I wanted to be a millionaire. Except whenever I thought about wanting to be a millionaire, instead of motivating me to take action, that thought just left me super deflated and hopeless because it made me very conscious of how large that gap was, and it really felt deflating. Like, here I am with a net worth of negative $100,000 and very little savings and assets to my name. So I just didn't see a path to one day having a positive net worth of $1 million. So while that's a very honorable goal, it wasn't very helpful or practical. Because the thing is, humans are motivated by the belief that they can make progress. Progress motivates. In a study done by Stanford researcher Su-Chi Huang, they found that when you are just starting a pursuit, feeling reassured that it's actually doable is important. And achieving a sub-goal increases that sense of attainability. So there's been a lot of psychology and behavioral researchers that can back this up. Setting small goals motivates you to action. And so, going back to my personal story, one day I sat there thinking that, it's great to want to be a millionaire one day, but actually it would feel amazing to just be at zero, like to have no debt and to be at a zero net worth. Like, forget $1 million. I was at negative 100,000. Just being at zero would be amazing. So rather than thinking about this huge, ambitious financial goal to be a millionaire in the distant future, I decided to just focus on that sub goal of getting to zero. And it seems so much more achievable for me. And I'm telling you, everything changed from that moment on. So I started chipping away at my debt, just $1,000 at a time. And every time that $1,000 decimal place went down, I just focused on the progress I was making. And these moments of mini progress created this awesome snowball effect, and it really motivated me to keep going. It's almost like I got addicted to that feeling of making progress little by little. So I just started paying off my debt with whatever extra money I could come up with, and I really cut down on spending, and it literally just became a hobby of mine. Just whenever I had free time, I would log in and pay off some student loans here and there, and I really thought twice about spending mindlessly on dinners out and other things that I previously hadn't really been thinking about. And I'm happy to say 3 years later, my net worth finally crossed the zero mark. So, moral of the story is to think big, but start small. It's super cliche, but a journey of 1,000 miles really does begin with that single step. And just because you start small doesn't mean you think small. Because now I've hit the zero mark, now I can focus on the $100,000 mark. And once I achieve that sub goal, I can focus on the $500,000 mark. And then once I hit that, then I can focus on the $1 million mark, which is my ultimate goal. So see how that all works? So for step 1, I want you to think about what starting small looks like for you right now. Just close your eyes and think about it for a second. If it's something that will get you closer to your ultimate goal, yet it's ambitious enough to make you feel motivated, but it's achievable enough to help you not feel deflated, then you know you're on the right track. So start small, but think big. And remember, starting small does not mean you are thinking small. Step 2 is to activate your reticular activating system, or your RAS. Your RAS is the part of your brain that tells you what to focus on. As you know, your brain is bombarded with billions of bits of data at any given moment, like right now, billions of bits of data. So the RAS is a survival mechanism that saves your brain from having to process all those billions of bits of data all the time. Because without the reticular activating system, your brain would short circuit. Kind of like when you plug a 120 volt hairdryer into a 240 volt outlet. That happened to me when I went to Korea and brought my blow dryer from America, and it just like psh. So the RAS is exactly that. It protects your brain from short circuiting because it gets overwhelmed with so much data. Even without you being consciously aware of it, your reticular activating system is selectively noticing only what it thinks it's important. That's why you can pretty much be out on a busy street and tune out all the noise. But when someone on the street calls out your name, you instantly snap to it. So that's your RAS at work. So going back to this whole goal setting thing, when you tell your reticular activating system what to focus on, in other words, you set a specific goal, then all of a sudden you're going to start noticing opportunities around you to help you meet that goal. So the more specific your goal is, the better. For example, recently I set a goal to get a puppy in the next year. And I got really specific. I know I want a gray-colored French bulldog. As soon as I did that, I started noticing French bulldogs everywhere. On the street, in my building, on my Instagram. And pretty soon, my neighbor who has a French bulldog asked me to pet sit while she was away. And so that's how the reticular activating system works. When you tell your brain what you want, it starts looking for ways to make that a part of your reality. And it'll filter out everything that isn't in line with what you want. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get super clear on your financial goal and write it down. You gotta be specific. Tell your reticular activating system exactly what you want so it can start looking for ways to help you get there. When I was working to get out of debt, I had a piece of paper on my wall and I had my goal net worth clearly stated. I had my current net worth and my goal net worth. And I wrote down all the debts that I have and the amounts. It was kind of like a financial vision board. So for you, instead of just saying something like, I want to get out of debt, get really specific and make a goal like, I want to pay off my Discover credit card by the end of January, for example. Or instead of, I want financial security, make it something like, I want to build a $5,000 emergency fund in 3 months. Instead of, I want to start investing for my future, make it, I want to have $10,000 in my Roth IRA invested in index funds by my 30th birthday. See what I mean? So put your goal on a sticky note or somewhere where you can see it daily and help your reticular activating system work for you 24/7. Even if you have no idea how you're going to come up with the money, just don't worry about the how. Just worry about the what, the specific goal. And let your brain do the rest for you because it's going to work 24/7 in your sleep, whether you're aware of it or not, to start scanning your environment for people and opportunities related to helping you achieve your financial goal. Step 3 is to plan for obstacles in advance. So think about all the things that might derail you in your financial goal and just deal with them right now before it happens. So for example, if you're trying to get out of debt or save money and you have a really good friend who has expensive taste, then don't just leave it up to willpower. Talk to her. Next time she calls you and she wants you to go to a fancy restaurant or go on a spring break trip with her and stay in a nice hotel and all this stuff, then tell her in advance, actually, before she asks you, tell her that you can't spend that much on going out anymore because you have XYZ financial goals. And if she's a real friend, she'll support your decision and find other ways to hang out with you. And better yet, maybe she'll join you on the goal too. Just consider that your wealth and your financial situation is going to be the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So if you have friends who aren't supportive of your financial goals and they're not taking care of their own finances either, then you might want to reconsider having them in your friend circle. Other things that might derail you: if you shop online a little too much, then consider doing something like, deleting the Amazon Prime app from your phone, or delete all the auto-saved credit card information. For me, my obstacle that I had to deal with in advance was spending too much money on Seamless. Because when I'm hungry and I don't have any food in the fridge, I would just go crazy on food delivery. So I would start planning ahead and just have groceries in the fridge and just have yummy things to eat in advance, and that really helped me. So it's really simple stuff you can do, but it's important to sort of future pace and think about, okay, I have this financial goal. What are the things that would derail me, and how do I just prevent those in advance? Do whatever you need to do to set up your environment to naturally breed financial success. Okay, and now step number 4 is to eliminate the need to exercise willpower. And you do this by putting your financial goals on autopilot. When I was climbing my way out of debt, I had automatic monthly payments on ACH from my checking account to my student loans. That recurring amount that I had on autopilot was a little more than I was comfortable with, but once I set it on autopilot, it was just no longer a question of if I'm gonna pay off debt or whether I'm gonna have enough money, and then everything else, all my spending and everything else around it just sort of accommodated to meet that. And now my financial goals have shifted to things that are more about investing and building wealth, and I put all of that on autopilot as well. So here's a screenshot of a recurring automatic monthly investment that I set up in my Fidelity account, and it's on the first of every month. $200 goes from my checking account to my HSA, and it automatically buys certain index funds, just more of the index funds that I already own. If I left it up to chance, literally, I'd probably never remember to log in and buy more investments, and I'd probably come up with all kinds of excuses to not save that money and to spend it on something more fun instead. But because it's all automated, I just get closer to my financial goals, whether I feel like it or not, whether I remember to or not, and that's just how it goes. So wherever possible, put your financial goals on autopilot. Don't make it a question of if, just make it a fact of life. Okay, so those are the steps. Step 1 is to start small, but think big. Step 2 is to activate your reticular activating system by getting super specific on your goal and putting it on a sticky note or somewhere where you can see it often. Step 3 is to deal with all the obstacles in advance. And step 4 is to put your financial goals on autopilot. Automate wherever possible. I hope you're feeling inspired and full of ideas by now, and that's good. But don't let this be just another YouTube video that you consume but don't take any action on. I want you to really kickstart your financial goal setting. So let's get you started with just one tiny baby step action right now. When I started my $100,000 debt payoff goal, the baby step for me was to just add up all my debts on a spreadsheet. And that's really easy, it's fast, it's something that you can do right now. So here's some other ideas for baby steps for you. If your goal is to save money, then go through your credit card statement and cancel one monthly subscription that you don't really need and reroute that to savings instead. If your goal is about investing, then another baby step idea for you would be maybe to call your HR department and make sure you're maxing out your 401k employer match. That's something super easy, nice little baby step. It's too easy to think about your financial goals and just say, I'll start tomorrow. But no, start today. Just think of one small thing you can do and tell me what it is in the comments below, like right now. I'll wait. Just remember, you have what it takes. Start small, think big. You are totally worth it. You deserve to have financial freedom and abundance and to have your hard-earned money work for you. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope this video has helped and that it's helped you learn how to set good financial goals and figure out how to actually achieve them. It's kind of my first time sharing more openly about my money journey on YouTube, but it felt pretty good to share, and I hope that many of you could relate to my stories. Please like this video if you liked it, and if you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram because I'd love to hear about your journey and just have a chat. As you know, my favorite topic in the whole wide world is money, and I never get sick of talking about it. So feel free to reach out. I hope to hear from you soon. I post new videos every Wednesday, so I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Remember to invest early and often and to go after the life that you want, unapologetically. Cheers.